Hey, 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 everyone. Hopefully everyone's here. Make sure, give me a shout out in the chat. Make sure I can see all of you. You guys and girls are all logged in. Guys and girls are all logged in. All right, there you are. Hey, Thomas, tech is working today. Yay. You never know in a live stream. You never know. Oh, it's good to see you. Hey, everyone. I want to give everyone just a few minutes to get logged in. Looks like we've got some people signing up for membership. So Thomas and anyone else there, just let me know. Just give me a few minutes. Give everyone a few minutes here to log in. Hey, hey, Trey. So glad to see you. You're a new name. Nice to meet you, Trey. Happy Friday. Thanks for joining. Good to have you as a member. There we are. Everyone's starting to trickle in. Hey, Allah. Good to see you. Good to see you. Happy Friday, everyone. I don't know why YouTube will Restream does not tell me how many members are watching. Oh, thanks, Trey. I had to get rid of the green. The green just like wasn't happening. It's like, I know you can't really see it right now, but I re-dyed it purple. So, but it looks kind of black. Anyway, my hair is back to purple. It's definitely my brand at this point. So it was weird not having purple hair. Hey, Wardell, you made it. Everyone's here. Everyone's here. All right, just giving a few more minutes for everybody. Let me know how your week went, everyone. Ask any questions, make any comments, say something stupid, be silly. Hopefully everyone's... You know what? I just realized, I wonder if it's because it's a members-only stream on YouTube, and that's why Restream can't see how many people are actually watching. But it tells me 0 people are watching, which is incredibly frustrating. But it looks like we have more than 0 people here. So hopefully everyone had a good week. Yeah, like I said, I had a pretty crappy week. But it's I don't know, like I just have so much fun with y'all. And yeah, believe it or not, I lived in Alabama for a long time. Can you believe that? I refused. I did everything I can. I lived there for 7 years. I did everything I could to make sure that I didn't get that Southern drawl. And thank God I did it. Not that there's anything wrong with it. If there's anyone with a Southern drawl, anyone from the South, I got nothing but love for you. But I just, yeah, my father was born in Mobile, Alabama, and he had this Southern drawl. It was so cute. So anytime I meet someone with a Southern drawl, it reminds me of my father. Anyway, but yeah, I lived in Madison, Alabama, for 7 years. I'm Cuban Filipino, so I'm Cubapino. You can imagine what my life was like for those 7 years living in Huntsville, Alabama, when you're not like blonde hair, blue eyes, master race, Aryan race. So it was a pretty traumatic time in my life, as I'm sure you can understand. Live from the battle station, loving it. Username. Yeah, I hear you. Thanks, Trey. I agree. All right, are we all ready to do this? I think we got everyone here. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. All right, so let me just kill this. I'm going to just kind of walk all of you through, just in case anyone came over. I still need to fix that host name. It still says Alyssa Sack Studio. Alyssa's Ack Studio. I don't know what that is. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway. So for those of you who were not in the pre-show party, all we did was a brew install mitmproxy, and that's all you do. That's all you do to install mitmproxy Mac OS. This is why we love Mac OS. Should we just reinstall it? Let's just reinstall it. What the hell, right? So all it's going to do is it's just going to download mitmproxy, install it. And then you're all up and running. If there's anything that needs to happen, like upgrading packages or updating anything, like I think it even updated Python. It did something with Python. But if there's any dependencies that you're missing, yeah, if there's any dependencies you're missing, hopefully all of you can see my screen okay. Can you all see my screen? Can you see the terminal screen? I'm noticing like if I go full, yeah, it's tracking full screen. Okay. I just want to make sure all of you can see that. Yeah, so if you're missing any dependencies, that's what I love about Brew, is it will install any dependencies as well, so you don't have to go out and compile and download and compile third-party tools. So mitmproxy, if you just type in mitmproxy, it's just going to load up the shell for mitmproxy, which is this none too sexy interface with no GUI whatsoever. And as packets come into hit the proxy, it basically shows them on the screen and you can access them. If you want, I can show you that later. But what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you mitmweb. And that is, what was that, everyone? Web host 192.168.1.56. Yeah, that was it. All right, so I love how it just like switches me back to my browser. It's like, here, what's up? All right, so first things first, this is your user interface for mitmproxy or mitmweb. It's basically, if you can see that, it is starting the web listener, which is the web GUI on port 8081. And then your proxy server is going to be listening on all interfaces on port 8080. All right. So proxy listening on 8080 for packets from your mobile phone. And then port 8081 is the GUI. All right. So if you want to change any of the options, this actually, I stumbled on this. I didn't see it when I first started playing with mitmweb. It took me a minute to actually find it, but there's an options tab up here and you can actually edit the options and go in here and set global options and stuff like that, allow hosts. If there's anything you want to change within basically the behavior of mitmproxy, you can do it here. Here, as you can see, it auto-populated our IP address. This is the port number that we wanted to listen on. So if you want to change any of these values, you can do that. So for example, do not verify upstream server SLTLS certificates. You can enable that. So anything that you want to change or modify, you can do it in this GUI. It just, I mean, why over-engineer it? Why make it difficult for yourself? Look at this search string. How awesome is this? Like, so one of the things when I was doing the car hack, one of the things that I really struggled with was trying to keep, some sort of display filter in place on the UI. And at the time, I was using mitmproxy in the shell. I hadn't yet played with mitmweb, and it's just finding packets was a real pain in the butt. So with mitmweb, you have this awesome search feature. You have this highlight feature where you can have mitmproxy automatically highlight packets for you as well. All right, so it doesn't look like I hooked up the converter for my phone. So for those of you who remember what we did on the phone last time, we went into, and I'll just kind of call this out for you, but we went into the settings tab on our phones. We went into Wi-Fi and we clicked on the icon, and then we clicked configure proxy, and we're going to say manual configuration. And then we're just going to put in the IP address of mitmproxy. And then if all of you remember, it's running on port 8080, right? Don't accidentally put 8081. That's the web GUI, all right? That's your admin console. So we're going to put in 192.168.1.56 in my case. And then so you're going to, if you're following along right now, you're going to put in your IP address, whatever that is, if you're using a 10net or 192 or 172, whatever. And then I'm going to put in port 8080, and then I'm just going to save that, okay? And then once that's set, we can now go into general settings about, and we can make sure to turn on that certificate, okay? So one of the things that you want to make sure to do is install the mitmproxy certificate on your phone. You're going to do that the same way we did with Burp Suite, and you're just going to, I apologize, I should have hooked this up before the show. But I'll put some screenshots. Maybe, I'll do it as a community member post and put some screenshots and show you what you need to change. But basically, you're just going to install the mitmproxy certificate profile on your phone like we did last time. So you're going to open up Safari. Once you've got it pointed at the proxy, you're going to open up Safari, and you're just going to go to the website for mitmproxy, the mitmproxy certificate. Well, let's see. Hold on 1 second. Let me find out what that is. It's on mitmproxy iPhone. I can't remember the NS URL. Here we go. Oh, mitm.it. So just go to mitm.it on your phone, and remember, you have to do it on Safari. And you should all get a screen that looks like that. Can you see that? Hold on, let me flip over to you guys. So, I don't know, can you, oh, too blurry. Yeah, okay, there it is. Can you guys see that? You're gonna get a list of try a cube of peanut. That's a spicy mix. It is. I'm a great cook. If any of you love Filipino food, I make amazing pancit and adobo. Okay, so this is what you're going to get when you hit the phone. So I just want to explain that again. So the first thing you do is you start mitm web, tell it web host 8081 web host, and then your public interface, right? Then mitmproxy will listen on port 8080. Then you're going to go on your iPhone or Android, and you're going to set your proxy to the IP address of your machine running mitmproxy, and then port 8080. And then I opened up Safari, and I just went to mitm.it. And then it's giving me a list of the certificates to download, so I can go out and do that. So iOS, get mitmproxy. This website is trying to download a configuration profile. Do you want to allow this? We're going to hit allow. Choose a device, and then we're going to say iPhone, and then the profile will be downloaded. So now that it's downloaded, I'm going to go back into settings. And do all of you remember last time in Burp Suite in that, I think it was under About, right? Certificate trust settings. So right now I have port swigger. I apologize. I usually share my screen for you new students, but I recently Mel helped me completely reconfigure the studio, and I forgot to hook it back up. So I apologize, but I promise I'll put up screenshots and instructions in the member community. So portswigger.ca is the one for Burp Suite. I'm going to disable that, and then I'm going to enable this new one that says mitmproxy, and it's giving me a root certificate warning. You're going to hit continue, and then now we're trusting the mitmproxy certificate. Okay. So our proxy is pointed at our machine, running mitmproxy, listening on port 8080. And then look at that! Yay! We did it! All right. So, all right. So now we've got our phone, we've got all the icons, and let's just pick an app. Let's pick an app. Ooh, Southwest Airlines. Okay, so this is something I want to show all of you. This is really interesting. It's kind of just sitting there. It's not doing anything. Okay, so when I loaded up Southwest Airlines, the Southwest Airlines app. Oh, am I sharing my screen again? I'm sorry, everybody. Hold on. Nope, I'm not sharing my screen. All right, that's okay. So I loaded up the Southwest Airlines app, and I'm getting an error message saying something went wrong. Please try again. Okay. So what's happening is Southwest Airlines app is pinned. Certificate pinning is implemented. So they're only trusting a particular root certificate, and that ships with the app. There's only one particular certificate it's going to trust. Anything else, it's going to yell at us. Let's try Ticketmaster. Okay, I'm getting a connection is not private. If you understand this risk, visit website anyway. Wow. Okay, so it's letting me authenticate with Ticketmaster.com, which is really interesting. So I've got the full sign-in screen. Let me actually log in and see if it lets us do this. But right now, it's looking pretty good. It looks like there's no pinning implemented on the Ticketmaster app. For those of you who don't live in the US or don't know what Ticketmaster is basically like I guess a auction site where people can sell concert tickets if you want to go see a concert, or a live comedy show. You can buy tickets on Ticketmaster. They sell tickets to pretty much any event. So now I just logged in and there's a blank screen. You see that? So I'm getting a blank screen, which tells me that there's some kind of there's some sort of security mechanism or other thing implemented, but different parts of the app seem to work, which is interesting. So let's see what we have in mitmproxy. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen, everybody, because this is probably, we'll talk about that in a minute. So here you can see, you can see Ticketmaster. So here, look at that. That was my Ticketmaster password. Hey Mel, go change our Ticketmaster password. No, I trust you guys. It's all right. So here you can see we captured the packets from Ticketmaster, and it's so we can see everything. We're currently doing network traffic interdiction on that Ticketmaster app. Let's see if we can find it. So, the error messages are going to differ. Like we just saw a blank screen on Southwest Airlines. Ticketmaster, like parts of the app worked. The other thing that all of you may want to try, if you run into certificate pinning. So for those of you who are familiar with my law enforcement vehicle hack research, where I took remote control of law enforcement vehicles through their APIs, it affected any Ford on the road. And what I found was in the middle of the testing, they had implemented a security control, a fix in the middle of the testing. And they implemented certificate pinning, but guess what, everyone? They only implemented certificate pinning at the login screen. So what I did was I disabled the proxy on my phone. I logged in, and then as soon as I was logged in, I turned the proxy back on, and it was fine. So there, I'm telling you, hacking is a lot of creative thinking. It's a lot of creative thinking outside the box. There's no magic fairy dust. It's just, it's just thinking outside, coloring outside the lines, trying to send stimulus that the developer didn't expect to receive. That's it. Okay, so let's see if we can find another app here that's not pinned. And it's actually, there's rudimentary pinning that there's some apps that there's just absolutely no pinning at all. Let's try Uber Eats. Order some food on Uber Eats. All right, that looks like it's got pinning. How about this? Let's try Eventbrite. Nope, Eventbrite is pinned as well, it looks like. Yeah, that's another indicator. If you don't see any tickets. If you don't see any packets showing up here in mitmproxy, that's another indication. Let's try HubSpot. I think HubSpot doesn't have pinning. All right. So I'm going to put in my HubSpot info. So it's letting me log in, everybody. Media. What is my password? That's the question. Oh, okay. So sometimes you'll get the login screen and then you'll get an error message saying something's gone wrong. Again, certificate pinning. So, it really just depends. Let me see. How about this parking app? Parking.com. Oh, URL session task filled with error. Your certificate for the server is invalid. Yeah, any kind of certificate error message. Let's see. Come on, everyone, help me out here. Come up with an app that might not be pinned. How about how about the app that controls the smart blinds in our house? Let's see. All right, let's see if this works. Oh my God, it worked. All right. Oh, did it stop? I can control all my shades right now, but I don't see the packets coming in. I don't know why. Did mitmproxy die? Oh, it's just not showing. Oh, do we need to hit refresh? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. What's happening here? It's getting packets. This is weird. Getting my IP one. Let's try it again. Hold on. 1.56. 1.56. Yeah, it's like it crashed or something. Did you guys see that? That was weird. All right. Let's try it again. I'm wondering if all these apps actually freaking work now. We're not seeing packets. What is going on? All right, everyone. I'm not going crazy. You saw that before, right? There were packets. I don't know what's going on. All right. So server connect api.connect.com. All right. So that's the app that controls the shades in our house, our smart shades in our house. Okay. So iCloud is failing. Obviously, that's fine. Server disconnect. Okay. So maybe it is freaking. Hold on 1 second. Let me just try a browser. Yahoo. Oh yeah, okay. All right, so it's working. It's just pinning. So let's see if we can find something that's not pinned. Try and GoDaddy. Yeah, I think it's going to be a majority of you that are going to say teach us Frida in the next class to get around the certificate pinning. Let's see. How about DJI? This is my drone app. Okay, it looks like. What does it get you? What is that? Is that DJI? No, I'm getting network connection for there. Discord? Nope. Wow, I'm impressed. I seriously thought we'd find more unpinned apps in this. How about Supercharger's app? For Tesla. Nope, that's failing too. Wow, this is impressive. I'm seriously not finding anything. Venmo? What about Venmo? Nope, network error. Yeah, anytime you guys see a network error, that's going to be pinning. Google Drive? How about DocuSign? Nope. Wow. Okay. Let's try. Yeah. Just. I would think that it would have more. Right, so letting me go to Disney.com. What Philips Hue? Fiverr? Nope. Nope. My goodness. Apple Health? Nope. Amazon app? Nope. eBay. Literally going through everything. All right, let's see. Let me check chat. Let's see what all of you are saying. What have you guys gotten working? Alyssa, were the mobile APIs developed using the mobile network as the security without the thought that data could be intercepted through proxy and added after for security? Yeah, Funky Monk. That, I mean, obviously, I can't speak for everyone, for every company or every developer, but I would imagine so. Initially it was like, hey, look, we have the security of the mobile network and LTE snow encryption, all this other stuff, and it's just yeah. And then now pinning is with the rise in attacks and man in the middle attacks and network traffic interdiction with these mobile apps and mobile phones. It's just developers are wising up and jumping on that bandwagon. Good question. I think most time security is an afterthought. Let me see. Let's see maybe the Tesla app. Let's see. You would think the Tesla app has. Let me check. Call. Yeah, nothing new. Yep, 401 session expired. Yeah, it's got pinning. Wow, so impressed. Let's try Backstage. Backstage is where we find and recruit our actors. Let me see. Oh, well, it's letting me get to the login screen. Let me see. Okay. Oh, SSL error has occurred and security clear cannot be made. Yeah, that's not working either. Wow. Come on, unsecure app. This might be a short session today, everybody. Navy Federal Credit Union, maybe? Nope. We're sorry, we're having trouble connecting to the network. Let's see. Music bed. Wow, not even music. Interesting. Let's see. 10. Nothing for that either. Evernote. Nope. Wow, everybody. This is crazy. All right, how about, let's see, Box maybe. You would think Box would. I would think a lot of these bigger companies like Box. Norton.com. Credit Karma. How about Credit Karma? Nope. Gigster. How about Gigster? Nope. URL certificate error. Goodness gracious. Okay. Wow, the world is more secure than I thought it was. Okay. We'll find something. Let's try carriage. That'll be surprising. B hits. Yeah. Nope. NAB show. That's not pulling anything from the network, it looks like. Nothing there. Goodness gracious, everyone. Everything is pinned. Even the app for our community, our HOA community, is pinned too. How about One Wheel? Is One Wheel on there? Yeah, it's not looking like it. This is crazy. All right, Peerspace. Jesus, I'm wondering if I just screwed up that SSL certificate. Let me check profiles and settings again. General. Oh, remember it was under VPNs, wasn't it? It was under VPNs, I think. Yeah, I didn't implement that new one. Let's go to VPNs. Verified. Certificate. Then there's the Port Swigger one. That one's verified. Profiles installed and on. Let me check about for all of these HTTPS now, because there's HTTPS right here. So we're getting both SSL and Tails traffic. So there's just pinning implemented on every single one of these apps. Proxy, yeah, it's on. It's on. So yeah, the only thing I can think of is it's every single one of these apps we're trying is pinned. Squire. All right, let me try. See what we're getting here. Well, I haven't been sharing my screen. I'm sorry. Oh, Thomas, thanks. Thank you. Oh yeah, if any of you have seen our new movie Heat, it's streaming now. It's Heat movie. What is it? It's what's Mel? Can you throw the URL to the Heat up on the screen, please? Yeah, if you haven't seen it's an I love it. Obviously, it's a great movie. But yeah, the new film that we're going to be premiering at AMC at Black Hat is going to be Ransom. But yeah, thank you for the feedback on that. If any of you, definitely give us a review. Let us know what you thought about the film, especially on social media, and tell your friends about it. Yeah, so I'm not finding any apps that are not pinned, at least on my iPhone right now. But then again, I don't really have that many apps installed on my iPhone. Yeah, even the Handy app has pinning implemented. So this is what we're gonna do. I'll open it up to questions and comments, and we can talk through some questions if you want. But in this class, we got mitmproxy installed, which took like 10 seconds. Got it up and running. I showed you the mitim web GUI, and then and also it's the same thing. So let me show you something. I'm going to show you the non-GUI. So we do this. If we just type in mitmproxy. right? So it's going to listen on 8080. So we should start seeing some flows. There we go. So, it's, I mean, it works, right? Like it works. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just, you gotta hold down. Let's see, like you can't even copy and paste right away. So if you're trying to do a lot of it, it becomes a real pain in the arse. I think you have to like hold down Shift or something. Was it? What is hold down Function, Shift, Alt, or Control to select text, or use the set console mouse equals to false parameter. Yeah, I mean it's just a pain in the ass. Let's see, Alt, Shift. See, none of this crap is working. I mean, I like I said, I use it for quite a while, and it's just not. It's just clunky. -- set space console _ mouse. -- set space console _ mouse equals to false. So, yeah, so like, let me see. Let me find some, let's generate some packets. There we go. Disney.com. There we go. Disney. All right, so, see, so you have to pass that switch. Well, it's okay. It's just, I don't know. And then you right click. You can, if you right click, it gives you the response to the request. So this was the request. This was the response. It's just, I mean, yeah, if you have to, because you don't have, you can't, for some reason, you're using this on a machine that you don't have a GUI in, you can use it. It's just, it's not sexy. I would much rather be in, Minim Web. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, it works, right? Yeah, see, we're getting like all this crap. Let's see. I mean, it's just okay. So like here's your raw output, right? So and then we could then take that over and do into Postman and recreate the stuff. And this is how I used to do it before. Now, I think one of you asked, how do you like when do I use Postman? mitmproxy versus burp suite. I mean, I would say that, I don't know, Mel, keep me honest here. Like 90% of the time I'm in Burp Suite. The other 10% of the time I'm in mitmproxy. I mean, it's just I'm all about keeping it simple these days. I don't want to sit there spending 3 or 4 hours troubleshooting something. When I've got to get a pen test done and a report written. Like I can be up and running in Burp Suite. All the modules are right there in front of me. I can take a packet that was captured by this mobile app, right click, send it to repeater, and I'm up and running, right? It's I don't know. I'm all about keeping it short and simple, right? Or keep it simple, stupid, KISS method, right? All right, let's see. Let's talk about some questions. All right. I thought cert pinning was out of favor as if the certs change, it breaks the app. Wardell, that's a great comment. So what developers are doing, so there's third-party tools that you can buy that will actually help make the administration of certificate pinning a lot more friendly, a lot less likely that you're going to brick the app. There's commercial tools like Approve, which used to be a client of ours, at full transparency. But they make certificate pinning very manageable, right? So it's a lot more unlikely that you're going to brick the app. Wardell brings up a good question, everyone. There's a big common thing is, hey, look, how come we don't see more certificate pinning? And like, for example, the Ford app, right? It's no secret those were Ford cars I was hacking. 0 certificate pinning installed. No certificate pinning at all. All right. I think as we saw today, there's definitely, at least the apps that I tested, it's a lot more commonplace now to see certificate pinning. But a lot of them are doing it with the basic, free underlying system that you can do with Android, and not purchasing third-party tools. It's very rudimentary, and I'm going to show you how to get around it using Frida. And so now if they purchased something like AppDome, excuse me, if they purchased something like AppDome, like a third-party commercial tool to do it, then it's typically going to have things that look for Frida. When you're in, we'll use, I don't know, I'll find an app that that's implemented. I would say a lot of majority of the apps that I've tested are doing the rudimentary free pinning that you can do. They're not buying third-party tools, and you can get around it with Frida. What have you made? I don't know if it was Funky Monk, someone, Thomas, I can't remember. One of you had just mentioned about Frida scripts. So you are correct. So Frida is like, when you're using Frida, you use a script, a specific script for a specific function, right? So I want to say that there's actually two scripts for that. Let me show all of you. So Frida scripts. It's like a script marketplace. Where's it at? It's off the Frida website. Some of them are hosted on GitHub, as you can see. Frida certificate and bypass. Oh, I added GitHub. Why did I add GitHub? Here it is. So there's a website, everyone, called Frida CodeShare. So it's codeshare.frida.re, and this is where people have scripts that they've developed and written to do things like certificate pinning bypass. So this is the script. Now you can't just download this and run this like a bash script. It's not like that. You literally pass it to Frida. So you're going to run Frida --codeshare, and then you put in this exact path, and it will actually grab this script and run it against that specific binary. Right, that's all it is. So you're passing scripts to Frida to run, depending on what you want to do. And now Frida, it's not just certificate bypassing. There's a lot of scripts up there. There's Frida anti-root. So if you've got an app that you're trying to run that has built-in security controls that prevents it from running in a jailbroken or rooted phone, environment, you can use Frida anti-root against the binary, and it will allow you to execute and run that binary even if it's got those checks in place. So you click on it, and then it gives you the actual command run. And I know a lot of this sounds Greek to some of you. I promise you, I'll teach you how to do this. We'll do it in the Frida class. There's a list iOS file data protection classes. I mean, there's a script for pretty much everything on here. So I would urge you to all log in and take a look at it. It's a pretty cool site. These are here's another anti-bypass script. A lot of it is like bypassing certain things. Here's multiple unpinning. This is a pretty good script. The one that I've had is luck with is universal. I've used this the most, I would say. But there's a second one called Frida multiple unpinning. And this is where if the script is implemented, numerous pinning, certificate pinning controls, it's going to allow you to get around that. So yeah, so that's Frida. We'll go through it. I don't want all of you to be super overwhelmed right now. It's a lot, I know, but look, at the end of the day, whether you're using mitmproxy or you're using Burp Suite, it's whatever you're familiar with. For the longest time, I stayed away from Burp Suite. Yeah, I'll say it. For a long time, I stayed away from Burp Suite, and I just stayed. I was super comfortable with mitmproxy and Postman. I kid you not. I would copy and paste every single field of that API request into Postman. I would just manually create all of these Postman collections. Do I have it? You know what? Here, let me show all of you. All right, you guys got to promise that time when you saw this. Probably not. Let's show it. So here, for example, you see this Postman request, and it's an unauthenticated access into an API for a bunch of coupon codes. running on Amazon. We'll talk about that later. But again, hear no evil, see no evil. None of you guys saw this. But this gives me a return of all these codes. And then I created one for NoSQL injection. And then when I run this, it's I'll get a NoSQL. I think that's an expired barrier token. 1 second, NoSQL injection. See, so here you can see I ran this NoSQL injection against this API, and I was able to write to the database, and I changed the again, none of you saw this, but I changed the product names for all of these products to NoSQL injection. So every single product name is called NoSQL injection. So it's I love it. It's super powerful to me. Postman. I love Postman. I used it for many years. I used it for a long time, and then it got to a point where I was like, I'm going to start playing with Burp Suite, and I downloaded Burp Suite and fell in love with Burp Suite. And I was like, oh yeah, this is amazing. I'm drunk on the Burp Suite Kool-Aid. And then I stopped using Postman and mitmproxy, and I'm just in Burp Suite. Because again, back to how much time can I save? If I can save 2 hours troubleshooting something, then that's 2 hours I can have dinner with my wife. So it's where it's 2 hours you can play with your kids, or 2 hours you could be reading or doing something else, or hacking a different API. But whatever your reason is, for me, it's all about how much time can I save. And you have a lot of these trolls out there like, oh, that's being a script kiddie. You're doing it fast and easy, and you're using a GUI. You should be at a shell. If you're a real hacker, you're using a shell. Yeah, screw them. If you can get it done faster, you're the one who's going to be, eating dinner with your family, while those idiots are over there still troubleshooting, trying to get something to work, because they've got a hodgepodge of different tools that they're using, when you just used one tool, and like Burp Suite, it's got all the tabs in it. So anyway, that's me. It's what works for Alyssa Knight, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be what works for you. A lot of you may be like, hey, look, Alyssa, thanks for teaching me how to install and use mitmproxy, but I prefer Burp Suite. Okay, awesome. But at least we installed mitmproxy together. We got it working together. You saw how it works. You saw us playing around within the packets. The web interface is cool. I love mitimweb. You can pause it, you can filter it, you can search on it, you can do some cool things with it. But now, believe it or not, I'm more in the Android emulator, running in Ubuntu, running the Android app that's pointed at mitmproxy or Burp Suite. And so we're going to talk about that. So today we use the iPhone. In the next course, we are going to be using an Android emulator running in Linux. And I'm going to show you how we can take an Android app and use ADB. We'll talk about Android. Oh God, what is it? Android Debug Bridge, Android Debugger. Anyway, and install the app on the phone and run it, and then use Frida to bypass pinning to be able to attack those APIs. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I just did this for the bank. I want to say the bank had like several hundred APIs. I think it was around 400 APIs in the environment total, and I was having a field day because they implemented pinning. So the other pen testers they stopped because they were trying to run it on their Android phones and trying to use the setup that I was showing you, but they didn't know how to use Frida or work Frida within a debugger. Now you can actually, and I'll go into this, but you can install the Frida server on the Android device. So you can take an Android device and actually install the Frida server on it and interact with it using ADB. But that's not the method I'm going to show you. One thing you can all sort of expect from me is I'm always going to show you the easiest, fastest way to do it. There's other ways to do things, but this is what I found to be the fastest and easiest way to do it. So that's the way I'm going to teach you. So it'll be a lot of fun, I promise. What's the success rate on repackaging and re-signing APK files and modifications by person? That's an amazing point that you brought up. Yes, that I have done that. It is a thing. You can do that. especially if they haven't used any white box encryption or code obfuscation. You can do that and change the root certificates. That is possible. It is a huge pain in the ass. It is a huge pain. It's possible, but it's very time consuming. And I ran into a lot of just rocks that I tripped on along the way. It was a real pain. I found using Frida and running in an emulator was a lot easier. So we'll talk about that. But that's a great point, Elias. So for those of you who aren't aware, it is possible to do that. Basically, you're repackaging the app once you've eliminated the pinning or given it a new root certificate to use. It's possible, but it's not fun. Let's see. I thought it was okay that we're going to set for Mordell. Yep, Thomas, thanks again for the shout outs on Heat. If none of you have seen it, definitely see it. It's a great film, I think. It seems like printers have been doing their jobs too well. Yeah, so I mean, this is good, right? Like Funky Monkey, bring up a good point. Like I'm happy to see that more and more apps have implemented pinning. Now, whether or not it's the legacy pinning that you can do with Android, or if they purchased a third-party solution like AppDome, we'll find out, and we'll find out in the next class. I have a feeling, especially just from my own experience in doing this in the past in previous pen tests, a lot of the times they're not buying third-party tools, either budget reasons or they just don't know. They Google how to implement certificate pinning and they follow some article that they found on Stack Overflow and they're done. But the problem is that form of pinning can be bypassed with Frida. So, all right. Yeah, were the mobile APIs developed using the mobile network as the security without the thought that we already answered that. Thank you, Funky. Are mobile APIs generally more vulnerable than web? Wardell, that's a good question. It would be difficult for me to say like 60% of mobile APIs that I've hacked were vulnerable versus the 40% of web APIs. I've never really kind of done any analytics on it or statistics to find out what is more vulnerable, web or mobile. I can tell you that I have a lot more fun with the mobile APIs. There's just, for me, more of an attack surface. You saw how quickly we got mitmproxy up and running, and we immediately started intercepting traffic and getting packets into mitmproxy. But coincidentally enough, it was just funny that a lot of it was Disney. But anyway, I don't know. Like I have more fun with mobile APIs because I feel like there's more sort of Swiss cheese that I can poke at. Wardell, I don't know if you were in that class or saw that class earlier, but I did do a course on one of the classes. I did show how to hack web APIs using the built-in Chromium browser and Burp Suite, and how easily it was. And actually, it was in the last one where we went after that healthcare API, and we used the built-in Chromium browser and Burp Suite, and it sent all the packets into Burp Suite for us for re-forwarding and replaying. A lot of you may, as we're going through this class together, you may come and say, hey, listen, I actually prefer web APIs. That's awesome. That's great. So I'm not saying web APIs are bad. I'm not saying I don't like them. I feel like I have more kind of room to play around in when it's a mobile API because I've got the mobile app I can go after. And then once there, I can then go after the mobile APIs. Because think about it for a second. It's obviously a lot more likely that you're going to find hard-coded API secrets in the mobile app than you are a web app, right? So, I have the ability to find more Easter eggs, so to speak, more, crown jewels with the mobile API. I just feel like there's more for me to find. I'm sharing text in Minim, but trying to show interception of login credentials. Oh yeah, cool, Thomas. Good job. I'm glad you did that. Yeah, I mean, you'll be able to intercept login credentials. If it's flowing across that proxy. By the way, this is a great way. I found a lot of apps that were not using HBS. They were using HB. For those of you who remember my scorched earth research where I hacked those 50 banks in less than a week, a lot of those I found initially were HBS, but then it's for some reason a lot of the more sensitive they're using HTTP and they weren't encrypting it. And so mitmproxy or Burpsuite, whatever, it's a great way to find out if as you're intercepting these packets, are they using HBS or is this stuff passing with? You would be surprised. I would love to hear from all of you in our next class what you found. But you'll be surprised how many apps out there and developers forget to use HBS and they're just passing things through in the clear HB. Maybe they were testing or trying to see if they could decrypt it or not have to decrypt it, and maybe they were troubleshooting the app and they just didn't want to deal with encryption and they forgot to turn it back on. That happens. I found production apps in the App Store because doing that. So definitely, between now and the next class, play with this. Play with mitmproxy. You know how to install it. You know how to run it. You know how to do the traffic interception. I showed you again how to install the certificates on your phone. So play with it for over this next week. Have fun with it. And then share with me your experience in the next class. Tell me what apps you played with. Did you find any apps that weren't pinned? I came directly to this class without installing the apps, but I can go on here and I'll find some other apps, see if I can download some from the store that aren't pinned. But play with some apps and see what you find. This is a great way for all of you to learn and see what's out there. But again, don't go after any APIs that you're not authorized to. I'm not endorsing illegal activity, but take a look at the traffic, look at it. See what's out there, see what the apps are doing. Also, if you have a favorite app that you've been using on your phone and you just use it all the time and you want to see what the information is actually being sent to them, that's a great way to do that. So it's a great learning experience overall. I mean, you don't have to be out to get a root shell or anything or steal people's data. You just intercept the traffic and see what the mobile app is doing and have fun with it. But I know we're coming up to time here. Funky Monk, Sarah, it's good to see you. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining today. Oh, Raul, you found an unpinned app. Good job. All right, everyone clap for Raul. Yay, Raul. Good job. What app was it? I have to go download that. Yeah, I don't really, I'm not like a big app person. I don't have like a bazillion apps on my phone. I pretty much just, yeah, I'm not a big app person. I only use a few apps like LinkedIn, which is obviously pinned, YouTube, Twitter. I just have a few social media apps. That's it. I'm not a big app person. But yeah, good job, Raul. Yeah, so I would urge all of you to just, download some apps. You've got mitmproxy, right? You know how to install and use it now. Run it, install some apps, play with them, and then see what you find, just like Raul. If you find an unpinned app, and then look at the traffic and see what the traffic is doing. And if you can capture the login screen and the login credentials, secret login credentials, make sure they're being encrypted, So anyway, I'm proud of all of you. Thank you very much. It was good to see all of you. I had a crappy week, so you guys put a smile on my face. Thank you. You all are amazing. I love you. Sarah, Funky Monk, I love you. Thomas, love you. Raul, Reliant Energy. I'll have to play with that one later. That sounds like a fun app to play with. Wardell, much love. All of you, thank you for joining. 06, it was good seeing you. Ala, Paula, good seeing you. Username Corey, Trey, newcomer, new member. Welcome to the family. I love all of you. Thank you so much. You guys have a lovely weekend. Go enjoy your weekend. For those of you who stayed up late, go get some sleep. Sweet dreams. Have a good night's sleep. Get a good breakfast in you in the morning. And I know I speak for Mel too. We love you. Thank you for being a part of this community, for being a part of this. We definitely need to all and participate in the membership chat, everyone, the membership post. I want to, the community post, sorry. I want to put together some sort of get together, or we'll all get together at DEF CON or Black Hat if all of you are coming. Definitely, if you can make the movie premiere, go get your tickets for the Ransom movie premiere. So love to meet all of you and see you then. But good to see all of you. You all have a great weekend. Mwah! Thank you very much. Take care of yourself.